So I'm going to start my New Year's resolution next year to stop procrastinating. Welcome back to Randomly Generated Conversations. It's been a little while.
Yep.
So we had Christmas. I think it was the last episode we did was Christmas episode. And then took some time with family while you guys were off school. And then when you got back into school, things got crazy. And we didn't really have time for this. But here, now we're back. Today is not really a random topic. But let's talk about New Year's resolutions. Okay?
Okay.
What are some of the funniest resolutions you've heard of? What are some resolutions that you would make? And what are your thoughts on resolutions in general? You can start with either one of those and then
I'll start with the funniest ones. I remember one was homework.
Okay.
And I was confused. I'm like, wait, homework?
Just homework?
Yeah, it was literally just the word homework. And I'm like, huh, okay.
Like more homework from the teachers?
I don't know. It was just homework. So I'm like, okay, so it could be they want to finish their homework.
Uh-huh.
They want more homework. They want less homework.
Or just homework. Maybe work around the home.
Yeah, it was a funny one.
I always like the ones like, become rich this year. Right? I mean, we would all love to do that, but that's not really a resolution.
Yeah.
Right? So, when I think of New Year's resolutions, I think something that requires action. And becoming rich is a result of action that usually doesn't happen within a year, right? I mean, some people might get that, but for most of it, it's a period of working towards something. So when people have a resolution, get skinny this year. I mean, I would love that, but it's work that has to be put in to do it. So that's when you get the resolutions as go to the gym more, eat better and everything. But why one time a year? I think that's kind of my issue with the resolutions.
Yeah.
Is you choose this arbitrary time of year when society has decided that's the new year, right? I mean, we start at any month, but societally we've decided that January is the beginning of the year. And we choose this one time out of 365 days, one time to make a decision of what we're going to do for his next year to better ourselves.
It's true. It's weird to think of it that way.
And it's kind of spontaneous too. You'll be sitting there in a party, everybody's toasting. Oh, Happy New Year, Happy New Year. What's your New Year's resolution? And you have to come up with something on the fly. And that's when you put down something like homework. Right?
Or bread.
Or
it's like, wait.
Eat more bread, eat less bread, bake bread.
It's like, it's just bread. I don't have a good resolution this year. I feel like I'm going great.
Become bread?
Yes. Have a witch curse me. You have been turned into bread.
Okay, so witch curses, right? Let's go there for a minute. Why toads?
I don't know.
Toads or mice. I mean, if you've seen the movie Witches, the old one or the new one, it's the mice, or read the book. But it's always like toads or mice.
I just think the person that was like, yeah, they turned into toads was like, I hate toads. I hate mice. Witches, they over here hate children. So what if we turn them into something that I hate?
But witches are often associated with toads, right? Well, the warts and toads and everything.
But then why don't they turn into the toads?
Right, turn themselves into it. No, they'll turn themselves into something cool like a bat. I mean, vampires too, but witches as well, right? Or a cat or something like that. Rats or mice, I guess, somewhat understand.
Yeah.
They have somewhat of a similar physiology when they test in labs. They test on rats and mice because there's some, I have no idea. I I know some people that might be related to rats, but I myself don't like to think that I'm related to a rodent, right? And no offense to anybody that thinks that them. I really don't know anybody that's related to rats. But toads or frogs, they're cold-blooded, right? So they have a whole completely different physiology. Now you're turned into an animal that can no longer regulate its own body temperature, similar to us warm-blooded people. So now you have to adapt to that whole aspect of keeping warm and cool based off of the sun and the water and everything else. And you don't even know what your internal temperature is going to be because you weren't born a toad. Anyway, aside from the whole dynamics of that, and I don't think you would live that long as a toad.
I mean, yeah.
I never understood toads. Again, rats I could understand somewhat similar. I would think there'd probably be complexity to the witch's spell, right? Turning something into something close by, maybe a warm-blooded creature, a little more simple. But changing full-on to a cold-blooded, probably, maybe that's the thing. Maybe it's witch being like, hey, I'm a powerful witch. I can change them into a cold-blooded animal. You guys can only change them into here and something similar. Anyway, that doesn't really have to do with New Year's resolutions, but...
Then again, it's kind of like a relationship. Just kidding. I can change...
Cold-blooded or warm-blooded?
No, cold-blooded animal. I'm just kidding.
Oh, hey.
That's not my New Year's resolution. Anyway.
To be more cold-blooded. To be more like a toad.
Heart of ice, cold-blooded, warty toad.
Right? New Year's resolution.
And it's just that entirely.
Heart of a toad. Wait, what?
Cold-blooded. Heart of ice. Toad. And it's just a long plaque.
If
saying
somebody,
New Year's resolution.
If somebody had that as a New Year's resolution, I would run. Right? Like, anything cold-blooded or whatever. Most of the time, people's resolution is something to try to better themselves. Right? So that's one thing where, hey, I want to be wealthy. That's my New Year's resolution. I already talked about some of the issues with that. Like, it's not an action. It's an end goal. Right? You need to have working up to it, and your resolution's usually the process to get up to it. But also, it lacks the why factor, right?
Yeah.
So, if that's the end goal for the year, what is their goal going to be next year? Get even more wealthier? Or maybe do something with it, right? So, I think if we're going to be choosing a New Year's resolution, we should be choosing something, again, that could be built upon and leads to something throughout the year, right? So what happens if my New Year's resolution is get wealthy, and 3 months in, now all of a sudden I have an uncle from Zimbabwe or someplace, that long-lost relative says that he's the king of that place, and now I inherit this, $100 million, $1 billion.
He just looked in the book. He's like, family members.
But I was the only.
Sounds promising.
I've received those emails. I've been the only remaining family member left, right? And all I had to do was respond and claim this 500,000 or million or $1 billion, whatever it was, because he's a prince or whatever and needs to pass it on. So this person, that actually works out for them, and now they're wealthy. 3 months into the year. Now what do they do for the rest of the year?
They just change the resolution to how close can I get to $1?
But we could only do a resolution once a year.
That's true. That's why you get even more wealthy. Then the next year's resolution is, I'm way too wealthy. How far can I get till I'm broke?
How quick can I get down to $1? Hey, that sounds like a fun challenge. Let's do that on the show. Just kidding.
That's the next episode.
How fast can we blow?
How fast can we blow $1 million? Stay tuned.
First, we have to find the $1 million. Anybody want to donate? Go ahead. But yeah, so my take on that, I think I was kind of hinting at, is I think New Year's resolutions, people know they're going to break them. They do it just to act like they have a plan, right? I think the constant planning and evolving, like, I think I had made this comment to either you or Mabel, that really we should be doing this our New Year's resolution and then break it down into here's our monthly resolutions and here's our weekly resolutions.
That would be nice.
Right? So here's what we're going to do. Each week you look, here's what I'm going to do to achieve my goal for the month. And each month, okay, what am I doing this month to achieve my goal for maybe a 3-month period, then a 6-month period, and then the year.
Yeah.
So breaking it into these smaller tasks would allow us to actually keep the resolution as opposed to, oh, I want to lose 50 pounds or I want to become a millionaire or this year I plan on playing video games 8 hours a day or whatever, right? You got to work yourself up to that. So
yeah,
instead of something like that, you have the goal and you're working towards, I want to be healthier, might be the resolution. This first month is setting up a routine that may work towards that health or something like that. And I think those are the resolutions that they're not the ones that have the same impact when you're in a large group and somebody's like, what's your resolution?
Yeah.
But I think they're the ones that are sustainable and ones that you could plan other goals around. That's my take on New Year's resolutions.
Okay. So, what were the other 2 questions about New Year's resolutions?
Well, there's the funniest resolution.
We did that one.
There's what do you think about New Year's resolutions?
We did that one.
And I forgot what the other question is.
I think it was, what is your resolution?
What is your New Year's? Right.
Mine is to plan to have a New Year's resolution next year.
Okay, so you have a year to think of it?
Yeah, so I don't have one. No. Yes and no. But my New Year's resolution is to continue with getting good grades in school, which can be a overtime thing.
Right.
And to complete a game I've been wanting to work on.
Okay. Like, complete it by way of, like, playing it and getting to the end? Or elaborate a little more about this completing a game?
So, me and my friends thought it'd be a funny idea to go and make a little group to start making games.
Oh, so like programming, not playing a game, being like, oh, I want to finish this game at 100% or whatever. It's actual creation of a game.
Yeah.
That's cool.
We were talking about how we wanted to create a game, and we're like, that would be really fun. And so we were talking about how we want as our, I told them about this as like a New Year's resolution. To have this game done by sometime this year, or if not this year, at least by next year. Because I think we would be close with what we've currently been currently been doing together, like talking about what should be done. I think we'll have this game done by at least next year or this year.
And by done, you mean like a minimal viable product.
Yes.
Not that it's going to be, this full length game with all these DLC options or whatever.
No, we're not.
Base project done, right?
Yeah, we're not going to be there. We're thinking that's probably going to be done by the end of this year.
Okay.
Because that's not going. The hardest part is going to be adding more levels.
Okay.
Having at least like a chunk of levels. So, example, if you have like 5 levels in a boss fight, right? You over here code the 5 levels, the boss fight, the character, and that's going to take a lot more time because you have to go into depth of. Well, I actually have to code every single thing this player does. Animations of walking, running, attacking, anything. So I think minimum viable product will probably be done by the end of the year.
Okay.
So, and then it's just copy and pasting basically code, not fully, but fixing bugs along the way. Because if you have those 5 levels of boss fight and you want like, let's say 10 of those, you can just basically copy and paste, change the art style, make sure that you've got everything working.
Right, change up the sprite sheet or the whatever graphic sheet you're using to make it look a little different.
Yeah, and then just fix up the code.
Okay. Maybe add in new mechanics and everything.
I'm excited, though.
Sounds fun. Getting straight A's, that's always a good thing.
It's going to be fun trying to do that this semester.
I think a project, though, is, well, yeah, I guess you're New Year's resolution would be homework.
Uh-oh. I never thought of it that way.
But I think that's a good resolution because that's something that's tracked, it's measurable, and it's something that you would strive for anyway, right? And you have kind of the cheerleaders in your corner. Not that you have cheerleaders. I don't even think your school has cheerleaders. But by way of like your teachers, your family, your friends, all of them want to encourage you to do well at school. So that's what I mean by having them kind of in your corner. So those are usually some of the big factors when choosing a goal, or as we're calling it in here, a resolution. Is it obtainable? Can I track it? Do I have the cheerleaders or the support group and everything? And so, good call with choosing that one. Even with the game, I mean, you're doing it with a group of individuals that can hold each other accountable as well.
Yeah.
Which is nice. My New Year's resolution for this year is to do more podcasts. Now, get more subscribers, get more likes, some comments.
Please,
no, I mean,
New Year's resolutions come true.
Those are good things, and I would love people to comment more on our videos. Let us know what they like, what they don't like. I would love to get more subscribers, but that's not really my New Year's resolution. My New Year's resolution comes down to procrastination, right?
Is it procrastinating more?
Right. So I'm going to start my New Year's resolution next year to stop procrastinating. And that goes against everything I said, right? Because how am I going to stop procrastinating? No, but the end result is to reduce the amount of procrastinating. My actual resolution is to be more action-oriented, right?
Okay.
I have a list of things I need to get done with some of the projects I'm working on. And just to start knocking those off the list. Have a checklist with those and start saying, this one's done, this one's done, this one's done. Instead of allowing the list to pile up more, I'm trying to get it shorter, right? So if I end up with 2 things on the list a day, and I'm not completing 3 things, and I'm only completing 1, that list just keeps getting longer. So my goal is to approach it from the standpoint of just trying to be more active, productive, better use of time. And again, the traceability of that comes down to these projects and being able to check them off the list and be like, okay, I've gotten to this point with that.
Okay.
Like one of the goals as it pertains to this podcast is to find more guests, even to have 2 additional semi-permanent hosts as well. I find that this podcast tends to flow a little easier when we have additional people here with us.
Okay.
So if anybody's interested, send me a message. Let me know. What are your guys' resolutions? Put some down in the comments. If you've heard of funny ones, put them down. If you don't have any, just write homework. And
exactly. Or bread.
Or bread, right? But thank you for joining us. And yeah, any thoughts? Feel free to put them in the comments. We'd love to read what some of the opinions are of our viewers.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. And join us next time.
Thank you.